Ian, go ahead and give us the leftovers, as they would say, of that Thanksgiving Day game. Why don't you?
All right, pal. As Dak Prescott says, here we go. All right. Last Thursday, Dallas Cowboys returned home to Jerry's concert venue, AT&T Stadium, to do battle with the New York Football Giants. Though the boys looked the part of rock stars in their clean throwback uniforms, their opening act was a bleak affair. After a Giants punt, the Cowboys turned the ball over on downs when Zeke Elliott ran into the dreaded and mean monster, Mr. Jalen Smith. Despite Mr. Clear Avenue's cameo, the Cowboys' path to victory appeared nothing but clear through the first half. The offense would turn the ball over 2 more times while only scoring once out of 5 possessions. However, the Cowboys' defense never allowed the Giants to capitalize, and the home team exited the stage trailing 13-7. After the Jones family's featured act, the football teams returned to the stage to finish their game. The Cowboys began the second half with a 14-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, which included not only 4 third-down conversions, but also an impressive 15-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and goal. When the Giants failed to convert on 4th down on the next possession, the Cowboys put the game away by doing what the Giants couldn't, punish the other team's mistakes. The Cowboys would score, then score again, as Dak and CeeDee Lamb put together an impressive duet, complete with trash talk and another Jalen Smith cameo. 21 unanswered points later, the boys led 28-13. Then the defense did what the defense do. They clamped the Giants' offense for the final time, punctuating their performance with the Micah Parsons sack. And just like the audience listening to Greg Olson and Brohar on Thanksgiving, the NFC East rivals were beaten. So y'all, the word I used to describe that game was kind of punishing the Giants' mistakes. How would y'all describe the performance by the Cowboys?
I would say that we, I don't want to say lucky, but we did get a little bit lucky in that our mistakes weren't killers. So, for instance, late in the game, B. Oddish has a false start. Or it was the third quarter. He has a false start. We end up still scoring, throwing into Schultz. There's a Noah Brown penalty. That's the late in the game one. And we're in a goal line situation. We have a false start, and we luckily end up with a touchdown anyway to Hendershot. I would say we made some mistakes, man. The interception that should be, but it was called back for a Diggs illegal hands, was it? It just felt like we kept the Giants in the game. They weren't even running the ball well. They were trying to pass it on us. So like it really felt like the Giants were 50% trying, and we were kind of letting them coast.
Justin?
Wasn't it just an NFC East primetime game? I mean, just kind of.
I think that go. I don't think the penalties are like guaranteed in an NFC East primetime game.
It's always some tomfoolery going on in an NFC East primetime game with everyone watching. So, I mean, you covered the spread essentially. I mean, fake covered it. The Giants scored at the end. That didn't matter. So all that aside, I think that should just show to you how good this team could be. And after the debauchery that was in Green Bay, they strung together what, 2 straight or 3 straight? So
at this point, I believe it's 2
straight ones.
Okay, yeah, two straight with playoff teams against playoff teams. I mean, I think you're going in the right direction, so to speak.
Okay, so you guys mentioned a couple of interesting points. Now, we all agree that this is a playoff team that we beat, right? And it is a rival. And they were 7-2, I think, and all their games were close. So this is an impressive win, right? We can all agree on that.
I would say so, but the common public might say it's the Giants, but still.
I might fall on the latter. Although, to be fair, the Giants have been getting a lot of praise. Their head coach has been getting a lot of praise. So I don't think it's beating like the Giants last year. But I do think the way the Giants played, that they weren't they weren't serious. If that was a playoff team, that'd be a weak playoff.
They're
team.
gonna make the playoffs. I mean, let's
No,
be
I
honest.
understand what their record's at right now, but it like reminds me of when the Steelers a few years back were undefeated, or like 11-1 or something, and you knew and I knew that was the most fraudulent 11-1 team. I kind of feel like the Giants are a fraudulent 6-2 or now 6-3.
So the Cowboys defense did held the Giants to 90 rushing yards, but we also saw on display what a good quarterback can do versus what an okay quarterback does. Rudy, you mentioned a lot of flags by the Cowboys, but I kind of chopped it up to Thursday night football game, just it being a quick turnaround. It's going to be sloppy. The refs were having a field day out there, but Dak was 7-11 on third downs, and after the second half, they scored 21 points unanswered and basically converted, like had points to give. They would have scored on all other drives except for the missed Brett Maher field goal. So on the other side, you saw, I guess a lot of people would say that Daniel Jones missed the fourth down opportunity with that bad pass. Seeing those two quarterbacks, how impressed were you guys with Dak Prescott? And did he absolutely clear Daniel Jones? And did that game come down to the fourth down play?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, all the momentum in the second half was gearing towards the Cowboys' way. I mean, just because if he puts a better ball,
can I stop you right there?
Go ahead.
Before you say momentum, there was only one drive that entire quarter when that happened, and they each had one possession. The Cowboys scored, and then the Giants had the ball.
That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys had already got on the board. They did something that they're having a difficulty doing. Like the previous drives before halftime, what was it? 2 turnovers, and then 2 turnovers before in the red zone, essentially. I mean, I would say they finally got their ish together, so to speak. And if you could kind of see the tide starting to turn, the defense had forced a fourth down, essentially gotten the Giants off the field at third down. I feel like that fourth down, going for it on fourth down, was a little sense of desperation by the Giants of, okay, well, we got to get something because we know they're going to score this next drive because they were moving the ball left and right the whole game. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot when they got into the red zone. So I think everybody in the stadium knew that once the Cowboys got this ball back, they're gonna score again, which they ended up doing. So that's why I'm saying I don't think it would have mattered if they would have converted that fourth down. Like, let's just say that Saquon caught it. I think they ultimately get stopped on that drive anyways.
Yeah. And to talk about Daniel Jones, I think that we helped him a lot too. I really didn't feel like, well, there were a lot of 3-and-outs, and then their first touchdown, it was Carlos Watkins' defensive holding that kept that drive alive, but they were about to punt the ball again. I didn't see much. I know you called him a good quarterback, but
He didn't say he was a good quarterback.
Middle of the road.
Said okay.
Yeah, well, he's on the side of the road for me. I don't understand why the Giants were trying to win through Daniel Jones against us. That was odd.
Well, it goes back to what I told y'all last week. None of these teams want to run the ball consistently. So I don't know why.
You said teams will struggle to continue running the ball like as the game goes on. The Giants came out throwing. Like running was second from the beginning.
That's part of the point, Rudy. These coaches on discipline. They just get greedy and they just want to pass the ball.
Hey, like I said, I don't consider them a for real legit playoff team. So that discussion centered around other coaches, not Dable.
The only problem I have with that argument, Justin, is that the 3 teams that are probably the Cowboys' best competition won't duck away from that. Actually, the 2 teams, which is the Eagles and the 49ers.
Sirianni, a main candidate for that. I know the Packers.
I mean, I guess you could say that until we play them again, but I mean...
Ian, the reason why the Cowboys got back in the Eagles game the first time is because them jokers started passing the ball too much.
Yeah, that's true.
How did they score their last touchdown to put the game away, kind of?
I mean,
the Eagles.
Yeah, you dug yourself too much of a hole to like get out of it, but it's not like he's not going to give it to you. that they're not going to just stop running the It's not like they're going to keep running the football. They get greedy, bro. The only team that I saw, the only two teams I've seen all year consistently do that is two teams with Hall of Fame quarterbacks and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So
Okay, well, you might play one of them in the playoffs, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and if that man controls that,
we'll get to that later in the next segment. We're sure about that, but what's your next question?
I mean, who else is going to win that division?
I mean, Atlanta might.
Did we already? How'd you guys think about CD Lamb? He had 6 catches for 106 yards.
I don't know if y'all noticed.
Did good. I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I said I don't know if y'all noticed. Who do you think is the two leading receivers in the NFC for receiving yards?
I'm guessing CD's one of them.
And Jefferson is the other.
Would you have thought that if I told you that at the beginning of the week?
No, I would not have guessed that.
I think I have heard that stat before, so yes. But to say that he's done that with Cooper Rush for half of his games is very impressive.
So yeah. It's ironic to see that, and then to also hear he's not a true number one wide receiver, and yes, this dude be frustrating more than anybody else as far as the receivers go, but you start to see him putting it together, start to see it coming together. It's starting to, okay, I can be this dominant player that I was at OU. And actually, obviously, it takes like some little moment where something has to go drastically wrong for him to like wake up. But I think you're starting to see it these last string of games where it's like, okay, yes, I can take over a game. And obviously, I think the first 2 years, you would see it maybe once every 7 games or something like that. But like, obviously this fan base can't seem to get Amari Cooper out of their heads. But I honestly think now, given these last 3 performances by CD, you could say, it's okay. Amari Cooper is okay that he's gone. He's off to better and greater things. And you have CD Lamb now, so.
Okay, well, I don't think that sect of the fan base is ever going to stop. And I think part of that reason is because we just gave him up. Like, it wasn't we didn't get anything in return. It was just all right, we don't want Amari on the roster anymore. So that sect is always going to say something the second Amari does anything in any game. But yeah, no, I definitely think CD is stepping up as a number one. The one issue that we talked about in the past that still is kind of an issue is the lack of creativity and the predictability in the offense. So
I don't know if you can say that this past game.
The first play of the game was an end around to CD, and like I understand
didn't it get 7 yards?
It got a first, actually. But I'm saying you can't just say the play was bad last week and they run the same play this week and now it's a good play.
That's not the play that I was criticizing the last week. Play I was me and Ian were criticizing last week is the double reverse to Tony Pollard.
But the Gallup interception is the classic DB just sits on the stop, doesn't have to.
No, that was Dak being a dunce.
Dak thinking he had a free play.
That no. I'm telling you, watch that game, and there's a very clear.
Dude,
it's the same Kellen Moore offense as it's been in the past.
That was not
weeks.
the play that was called in the huddle.
I don't know what you want me to do, Doc. That's a bad play.
Hey, look, I'm all on board for piling on Kellen Moore, but other than that play where Dalton Schultz was lead blocking on a run play on an end around or something, I think he had a good game, as much as it pains me to say it. So, I'll say Mike McCarthy took control of the play calling this game. And
you'll give credit to Mike?
Yeah, I'll give credit to Mike before I give credit to Kellen. So, all right. So, finally, there's this team named Odell Beckham Jr.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, why not? Just because it's working out a little bit better than you thought it would doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If something's right there for the taking, just take it. It's always good to have extra. Just
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely add an asset when you can, and especially one that takes the load off your other receivers and can open things up. I think it'd be lovely to have him.
so Ian, let me ask you this: would you turn down a second plate of Thanksgiving food if it was offered
If
to
I
you?
was full, yeah,
Oh, never do that.
I'm full. I'm not a gluttonous person. That's a vice, my friend.
Just like your annoying uncle or aunts or whoever relative with their takes reappearing at the table, the Baltimore bugaboo of blowing games at the end reared its ugly head yet again. And me and Ian just disgusted with this team, our second team. And obviously, you got Lamar firing tweets, getting in trouble because the other Harbaugh, the other who's also a cop, apparently had a problem with it. But disgusting performance by Baltimore yet again. Ian, I don't I mean I think we all saw the meltdown, but Ian, with
Well,
you being
this
the
time
biggest Lamar fan,
the meltdown started early by when they got into the red zone. I think 3 times they came away with 9 points, but not to be outdone in the second half. They just decided to say, the defense said, you know what, let's not stop anybody this half. And then I don't know who the running back is, but that guy is missing until the other team needs a play, then he'll fumble and give the ball away. I mean, all around, it was an impressive losing performance.
Gus Edwards coughing it. How do you go up 9 points with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and you lose? The can't have it. Can't have it. That's absolutely horrendous. Especially when I've heard obviously what the Lamar was tweeting at the person. The person was talking about they need to find somebody else and use the money elsewhere, build a well-rounded team. Yada yada yada. I mean, sure, I guess, but like, I don't know what Lamar's
Nah,
supposed to
nah, nah,
do
nah. We didn't
when
hold that person
when when
accountable.
when the running back coughs up the ball with 5 minutes to go after the Jaguars just scored, and then the defense has two fourth downs to end the game and doesn't capitalize. Lamar doesn't he has no blame in this. This man not getting no help.
Yeah, the
It's
power of
time to.
Lamar and J Tuck just can't overcome this. Rudy, you got to see these. You just got to see the last 5 minutes of this game. It is incredible the way they just absolutely literally fumble the game away.
Would y'all say? Because I know the Ravens are y'all second team, as you said. Time to fire Greg Roman. I heard this man's really holding back Lamar in the offense.
I
Is
mean,
that
the
man still
man got
there? I thought he
Deshaun
was
Jackson. The man got Deshaun Jackson out there running routes. It is really not, in Gus Edwards toting the rock. So it's really not much else that, like, I don't think Greg Roman can do what he can do. Like, I mean, like, yeah, he has some blame in this, but they have no they're not playing with a
Just gotta
loaded
be
deck,
stop
so
being
to speak.
stupid.
Just
So y'all are
don't be an
expecting.
idiot. Don't be an idiot at the end of the games. That's all. That's all we ask. They always find a way to do something stupid. They're Cowboys light.
You know, it's
And somehow
incredible
there's
how consistent they are in doing this every week.
well,
Y'all
the
are
most bizarre
letting me
thing
know.
is that they're 7-3, I believe, and they're they're top of the North, which is bizarre about
Seven
how
and four
stupid they
right
are.
now, yeah.
7-4, but man, it's incredible. But you know who was enjoying it a lot the other day in that game were the long hair audience. Justin, I know you're a part of that group. I mean,
Oh,
clearly you were impressed with not only Trevor Lawrence and his handshake deal with Dougie P, but also in the other
did he
side of the huh?
did he go over to Doug Peterson and say, "Hey, I want Philly, Philly"? No, I'm playing. Obviously, the quote unquote gutso for calling a 2-point conversion to win the game. Yeah, they're 3-7. What
They
they
got
got to
nothing to
play for.
lose.
Yeah, stop. And then the other team, the other long haired team, which I ain't just let's be honest, Justin Herbert's good. But That coach, no, and I know the tweet that you're referring to is the NFL tweet of two long haired guys getting it done, or two, excuse me, two long haired blondies getting it done because of because of gutsy play calling. when there's a reason why that quote unquote gutso gonna get someone fired in LA. So, but it worked
Look,
out because his
as
season was on the line.
as a third strings resident long hair individual, the term blondies is so disgusting that oh my god, yeah, that tweet's terrible. First of all, long hair, sexy. Any player that can pull it off, go ahead. You got some dreads, pull it out.
I
You
don't
want
think
to puff
Justin
it up?
Herbert nor Lawrence can pull it off, but that's neither here nor
Well,
there.
first of all, I don't even think Justin Herbert's hair is long enough to be considered in that category. Put some work in, guy. He's still
According
no.
to the
He
NFL,
needs to put some work in.
Or is it even blonde enough?
Look at this guy. Yeah, he's a brunette anyway, so
like
it's
strawberry
nonsense.
blonde or whatever.
The
I wish we
NFL,
knew.
whoever runs that account, just really wanted to bring up Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. Like, they really just wanted to talk about them too, because talking about long
You could
hair
have been, like,
blondies,
young quarterbacks or something getting it done. Like I don't.
rising stars in the league. Nope, blondies.
It's the blondie comment that's out of bounds for me. But
It is. It's not the long hair. Long hair of all the Mexican hair. Look at this hair. This is gorgeous. Blonde hair. Okay, whatever. Let them have it. But no, man. The term blondies is just disgusting. I can't do that.
well, speaking of another, I guess blonde adjacent young quarterback, is Zach Wilson done in New York? Because Mike White's annual "I'm gonna ball out for a game and then stink the rest of the way" happened this weekend, and boy, oh boy, did the Jets locker room give him what for? Because reading this Sauce Gardner tweet, not tweet, quote. This is from at Zach Black or Zach Blatt. I think he covers the Jets. Sauce Gardner said the defense was talking on the sideline during the first drive about how it was the first time they were able to chill a little bit longer at the beginning of a game since the offense was moving. Does it sound like a locker room that wants old Zach Wilson taking snaps under center at least this year?
The ones that want reps do. That man, Zach Wilson shouldn't just be done in New York. He should be done in the NFL. Now, mind you, this is a league that nearly started Nathan Peterman on Sunday. So Zach Wilson will land on a team after New York. Should he? No. Nope. No. Yeah.
Well, I hate to go to bat for Zach Wilson, but Weezy's last take might have been so outrageous that I have to say it. There's no way he's done in New York. Now, he may be done for a couple of weeks, but like Justin said, next week, Mike White going to stink it up, and they'll be like, all right, let's let this guy back.
Well, I will say
it's fun to get a Jalen Smith pile on that man, though. That's for certain.
I mean, them wide receivers. I mean, Garrett Wilson had 2 touchdowns. Elijah Moore had another after calling Mr. Wilson out.
That man was releasing on that touchdown celebration, man.
I think, like, when you see that both Joe Flacco and Mike White can run this offense, how do you go into the offensive room and say, yeah, we're putting Zach Wilson back under center? Receivers, go have fun with that. Like, no, that's disrespectful to the rest of the men in the room to put Zach Wilson under center.
Well, another sign of disrespect where apparently the elderly are being disrespected yet again as the old man came up short again. This time in Cleveland, which obviously I will allude to earlier. Cowboys fans want to talk about Amari Cooper every single day, even though technically I like Amari Cooper, don't get me wrong. But We don't need to be bringing him up every single time he makes a play because I don't know. I think the people that keep bringing it up didn't watch the entire game because Amari Cooper damn near lost the Browns the game with a drop on 4th down. And then obviously Cooks Carlton Davis, which I think Carlton just fell over himself in typical Carlton fashion. I remember Tyreek Hill a couple of years ago, but everybody want to come out of the woodworks to tweet about Amari Cooper. It's like, okay, one play, cool. Like he did what he had to do to help them win that game, but he almost lost them that game too. And I know y'all are like, oh, well, Tampa Bay, you might have to play them again. Boy, they on their last leg, literally. The left tackle Wirfs went down. He's gonna be out
Justin,
a couple weeks.
I hear you, but the rest of the NFC South has no legs. They're on beg leg time right now.
Atlanta
no disrespect,
win?
But
no, they lost
Washington to football team. And every time Tampa Bay loses, the Falcons are right there to, take the division. They lose to Carolina on Thursday night, and now they lost to Washington football team. Bro, nobody else there can take it, so it's going to be Tampa Bay just by default because you have to.
I think both New Orleans 2 games back, but I think Atlanta's only a game back.
Atlanta is, and man, someone has to be the division winner, and well, it's embarrassing, but I'll say like the Buccaneers, they don't even want to play. They don't believe in themselves. Todd Bowles talking about, oh, we thought we were going to throw an interception, so we didn't call a timeout. Someone in the NFC South has to be crowned, I guess. But calling them a division winner is odd. Just call them like the division you didn't lose the least champion.
Oh,
I don't know.
Show some respect, Rudy. That's a playoff team. No matter who wins it, that's a playoff team. I don't care.
If you were to get the top 6 teams in each conference for the playoffs, Tampa Bay wouldn't wind up in the playoffs, right?
I'm just going to have to tap the brakes on you a little bit because it was just 2 years ago. They were saying this about the East and blah, blah, blah. They can't do this, blah, blah. They should take away their playoff spot. So I ain't here for all that. But yes, you're right. They are kind of poo-poo.
Dude, yeah. Watching Tampa Bay play, they're pathetic. The Tom Brady being the savior at the end of games now, I know he got the one a few weeks back, but that's gone. I'm not here for that. That old man being given credit like he can potentially win in the playoffs now.
Show some respect. I just think that the injury is gonna catch up to him. I mean, it's already starting to creep up. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not going that far and saying they don't belong in the playoffs. No, one of those 3 teams belong in the playoffs. Maybe not Carolina. Speaking of which, man, I don't want to talk about that man Russ, but boy, that dude, he.
It's not even funny anymore, almost, because just of how all right, easy relevant.
I'm pretty happy that this is the outcome. I mean, remember at the beginning of the season, right. Every primetime game, every week, there was a primetime game devoted to the Broncos. And so, no, this is beautiful. Thank you.
I'll tell you what else is beautiful. Raiders! With a walk-off touchdown run, Justin, the running backs matter committee is back. Your boy Jacoby, or whatever his name is.
Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, him, Saquon Barkley, Pollard, and all the other are gonna get snuffed. Come free agency this year, which will be nasty. But that man was toting the rock. He was toting it hard all game. It's glad to see Derek Carr end up on the winning end once again. That was something that we've been missing all year, Ian. Our guy getting it done, even though that man was throwing picks left and right. But our third team finally on the board yet again.
All right. right, folks. It is week 13 of the NFL season, and it's time to do the pick'ems. But before I get to my part, Ian, why don't you let us know where we stand?
All right, well, we're still waiting for one game to finish, which could shape up the totals. But as it stands right now, Justin, you are trailing with 9 wins, and Rudy, you and me have 10 wins.
You see it.
Is the
But in the
difference of
long
this Monday night game?
Yeah, because I took the Steelers and you guys took the Colts. So
wow.
I could extend my lead, or Justin, you become tied, and then Rudy, I mean, what's the point?
Justin ties you, and I take the lead. Yeah. All right. Thursday night football. We're going to go ahead and start off this week with the Bills traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Who do y'all got?
Buffalo, I suppose. But it might be close, or it will be close.
All right, I too will take the Bills.
All right. This is going to sound a little odd, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the Patriots win this game.
You're more than well within your right to take it.
Appreciate that. Moving on. Divisional matchup on Sunday. We've got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. How do y'all feel about this?
Ayahuasca out.
Is Fields out too? I mean, are we playing with backup quarterbacks on both teams?
I think if I had to guess, Justin Fields might be back, but I'm gonna go Chicago. Where is this? Chicago or Green Bay?
It's in Chicago.
Let's go Chicago then.
Wait, so if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, can we switch our picks later, or is it here now?
It's here now.
Here now, bud.
You know what? I will take the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jordan Love gets the dub. Packers. And moving on. Steelers traveling to Atlanta, take on the Falcons. Who do y'all got?
Okay, the Falcons are going to get it done this week. I know this past week it was kind of an uh-oh at the end of the game, as typical Falcons fashion. But they're going to get it done, and they're going to take the division lead, I think, this week. Well, I don't even know who Tampa Bay plays, so never mind. Forget that part.
Yeah, give me the ATL.
Yep, Atlanta for me. Clean sweep there. Moving on. We've got the Jets traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Solid matchup. Who y'all got?
You know, Sauce is gonna add another belt to the mantle, and he's gonna shut down Justin Jefferson, and we're gonna go with the Jets because Mike White gonna somehow shine yet again.
Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make up some ground on Justin here and take Minnesota for the dub. Moving on. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Fellas, who you got?
4 in a row. Yes? No? Is that the win streak right now for the Lions? That would be for the Lions. We're gonna go with the Lions.
They lost on Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness! I forgot. They covered though, so that's all that mattered. So I forgot that aspect.
That's a win. And never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
You said Detroit, Justin?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll write that down. All right. I too will take the Lions.
Yeah, I'll take the hometown Detroit Lions to win that game. Moving on, we've got the battle for A.J. Brown as the Tennessee Titans travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Who do you got?
All right. Get my music going. This is the pick of the week. Last week.
All rise. The Honorable is now in session.
Last week, We
You might
won
be
y'all some money yet again. We haven't lost since we started doing this, folks. We always covered the spread here at these picks. So, with all that being said, not only will the Titans cover the 5.5 spread, but they're going to win outright. I'm taking the Titans.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take the Titans as well.
Wow. All right. I'll make up ground on both of y'all. Give me Philly to win that one. Moving on, we've got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Who y'all got?
Redacted.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I will take the Browns. Moving on, we've got the Commanders versus the Giants. Who y'all got?
Nah, this is the G-men. This is their time. I don't. Obviously, the Cowboys lost a side. I don't believe in the Heineke's at all.
It's tempting, but I will take the G-Men as well.
Yeah. All right, G-Men for me too.
Weezy, just from now on, if you agree with us from now on, just hit us with the yeah, and then we'll just know that you're resigned to go on.
Okay, perfect.
Moving
on,
if we were gonna make up any ground, that would have been a game to pick. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
I'm not just no. I gotta be diligent with it. Okay, moving on. We've got the Broncos traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Fellas, who you got?
That's also another ridiculous spread that Baltimore will not cover.
What's the spread?
What is the spread?
Yeah, here. Give me 1 second. I know it's
yes,
in the double digits.
I would think the honorable would be in session on this one as well.
Actually, no, it's only 8.5, but nonetheless, I don't think Baltimore got it in them.
Still too high.
But Baltimore gonna win.
All right, yeah, I too will take the Fighting Lamar Jacksons, but oof, boy, this is gonna be a nail biter.
Yeah, I'm rooting for y'all's second favorite team here. Let's go Ravens. Moving on. We've got the battle for Mike McDaniel here as the Dolphins travel to San Francisco to take on the Niners. Fellas, who you got?
The Fins.
I'm very tempted to take the Niners at home. Sheesh. But I'll take the Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We've got the Seahawks traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Who y'all got there?
The Seahawks.
Yeah, give me the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all know. Okay. Well, no, yeah, Seahawks. Okay.
Don't be stupid.
All right. Moving on, we've got another West Coast game as the Chargers travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Fellas, who you got?
The Chargers can't stop the run, so I think Mr. Jacobs is going to go off yet again. So give me Vegas.
My logic isn't that sound. I'm just so gassed up from that last segment for both reasons that we mentioned. So give me Raiders.
I'm calling for a repeat of Week 18 last year where we get a tie. No, give me the Chargers to win that one, and I'll gain one on you. Moving on, we've got the Chiefs traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Who you got?
I'm guessing Jamar Chase is gonna play, so I'm going with the Bengals.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll say it's just like the playoffs, and the Bengals win this one.
Ooh.
Moving on, Sunday Night Football. Cowboys hosting the Colts. Who you? Oh, who you got there?
Cowboys.
This game scares me, but I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll say the Cowboys win. Moving on, and finally, Monday Night Football. The Saints will be traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Who you got?
Hmm. You know, I might get killed for it, but give me New Orleans. They got the old man's number per usual, and that left tackle injury doesn't bode well, in my opinion. So
Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay with that one. And that'll
anything
close out
else?
this week's games.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Nah.
All right.